Good afternoon from the Belasco Theater here in Los Angeles as we get set for an exciting doubleheader of Nintendo tournament action. Of course, coming up later, we have the Super Smash Bros. Invitational 2018. 8 players representing 6 countries as we get an early look at Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But first, we have the grand finals in the Splatoon 2 World Championship. And to kick things off, let's welcome to the stage producer for Splatoon 2. Put your tentacles together for Mr. Nogami.
ハローエブリワン皆さんこんにちは。私は人の姿に変身する不思議なイカを研究しているイカ研究所の研究員です。
Hello everybody, I am a squid researcher from Squid Research Labs, and as you know, I make it my business to study a mysterious form of inkling life.
スプラトゥーン2ワールドチャンピオンシップもいよいよ決勝戦です。
Well, we have finally found our way to the grand finals of the Splatoon 2 World Championship.
皆さん、昨日の大会はご覧いただいたでしょうか。
I hope you were able to tune into some of our preliminary matches yesterday.
Thank you. どのチームも本当に素晴らしい戦いぶりでしたが、今日はその中から勝ち抜いた2つのチームによる対決です。
We witnessed some truly excellent play from all 4 teams who fought their way to this stage, but today, it's finally time to see the top 2 teams face off.
もう私が多くを語る必要はないと思います。オーディエンスの皆さんもプレイヤーの皆さんも思う存分楽しんでください。
And I think that's all I really have to say. I just want everyone here in the theater, everybody watching at home, and all of the players to get ready for some inktastic action.
Thank you. Good luck.
Good luck.
Give it up one more time for Mr. Nogami. And with that, we welcome you into the grand finals of the Splatoon 2 World Championship. I'm your spray-by-spray host, Jordan Ken, and joining me, as always, the 2 finest Splatalists in all of Inkopolis, Ashley Esqueda and Charles 9 Whitehead. And before we get to our thoughts, let's take a look at what we saw from the ink pools yesterday. All of the semifinal action that we saw here at the Belasco Theater. We saw these 4 squads battle it out in some truly epic matchups. Set to Destroy X falling to the back squids in match 1. The GG boys representing Japan get the victory over Yeah Nah. Set to Destroy X gets the victory over Yeah Nah in the match 3, and then match 4, the GG boys secure the #1 seed in the semifinals over the back squids. And so we saw some terrific action, and I want to talk to you guys. Your thoughts on yesterday? I think we're still trying to catch our breath from everything we saw there, Ashley.
Oh my gosh, well, I think you could easily call yesterday's last match a pretty big upset. I mean, the defending champions, USA, get taken down by the back squids after some intense play. It went to 5. I can't believe it. We were totally losing our minds. And 9, I mean, I think you, of all people, I mean, backstage afterwards, we were just like shaking each other. It was so much fun.
I could barely breathe. It was so intense. And I've watched a lot of sets of Splatoon, believe me. I don't know if I've ever seen a better set of Splatoon than we saw yesterday between Set to Destroy X and the back squids. I hope that today's set can measure up.
Well, we have our 2 finalists, the GG boys from Japan and the back squids from Team Europe, but let's get to know our teams just a little bit better.
Ink, used in ancient cultures to write sacred texts. It drips. Sometimes it drops. Early monks used it to create quiet masterpieces. Gutenberg pressed it. And today, we use ink to determine the winner of the Splatoon 2 World Championship, where 4 teams come together to compete for the coveted Sterling Squid.
Representing Japan are the GG Boys. Dynamon returns with his new team after splatting out over 800 teams in Japan and is now looking to bring that sterling squid home.
I am Dynamo.
Etona, Taich, Yamamichi.
We are GG Boys.
And representing Europe is Backsquids. The winners of the Splatoon European Championship, this German team brings a fresh name and team spirit aplenty as they take on the rest of the world. Hey, you're supposed to smile here.
He's smiling.
Hi, I'm Ying. I'm Echo.
I'm Watson.
I'm Kaito.
And I'm Magic K. Rose.
And we are the Backsquids.
Now that we've met our teams, it's time to split!
Over 1,500 teams and regional qualifiers. We're down to our final two, so the bracket's pretty simple at this point. You have the GG Boys from Japan taking on the Backsquids from Europe. The winner of this best of 7 will be crowned the champions of the Splatoon 2 World Championship. And 9, let's take a closer look at the Backsquids from Europe as far as what they were able to accomplish yesterday to find themselves here in the finals.
Well, anytime you go up against Set to Destroy X, you know you're going to have to deal with intense frontline pressure. The backliners that they ran, you see here on the sniper, that is Echo. And of course, Majin using that rapid, some great snipes right there. And the opponent has to deal with that. They can't keep running into the right here. Yesterday's human highlight reel seemed like every time there was a big play, he found himself in the middle.
And it was exciting because in that semifinal against Set to Destroy X, we got to the 5th game, and it was 2 points on tower control that separated either one of these teams from making it to the finals.
And on top of that, maybe the biggest pop-off that I've ever seen. The chairs were flying, headphones were flying. You can see it right here. Poor Kaito almost gets knocked down right here, has to get caught up. We have our people there in the back helping them stay up. But that's the raw emotion that you want to see. And if you thought that was big, if they pull off this win today, watch out.
And going up against them will be the GG Boys from Japan. Ashley, they overcame over 800 teams in their regional qualifier. What did we see from them yesterday, their undefeated route here to the finals?
I mean, yesterday we saw a lot of GGs. I mean, that is what they are known for, and that is what they brought to this tournament. Yamamichi out in that front line alongside Taiji, alongside Taiji was absolutely indestructible. I mean, Yamamichi by himself, it's like having 2 separate players for each one of those dualies, and you know, nobody could stop him. And so I think today, if Backsquids wants to get some work done, they're going to have to figure out how to neutralize Yamamichi.
And with Dynamon also, we saw him switch between that Dynamo roller and also the heavy splatling, so very versatile from their backline player.
Really great job of giving cover, making sure that his frontliners were able to do their jobs.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the route that we will have for our championship. It's a best of 7. We'll be exploring each game mode except Turf War. We already covered that. So let's start with Splat Zones, followed by Tower Control, Clam Blitz, Rainmaker, and then if necessary, Game 5, we'll go back to Splat Zones, some more Tower Control, Game 6. I think everybody here would love to see 7 games. That would be concluded with Rainmaker. And then you look at the basic principles of Splat Zone, and with these teams, we obviously know it's a very easy goal. It's a matter of just getting ink in the zone and controlling it. But 9, oftentimes, it's really about making sure you can secure the zone and then get that push as you look at the rules over Splat Zones.
And there kind of is a flow to it, an ebb and flow, if you will. Whenever you have the zone, you know your opponent is going to build up their specials and use that to push back in. It's all about saving your specials for that moment and using that to kind of thrust aside that initial push and keep control of that zone.
And Ashley, a lot of times it's making sure that you are making those calculated pushes. Like 9 said, you want to make sure you've got a numbers advantage and some specials ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and of course, you always want to keep your eye on the clock because at some point, you know, that music's going to kick in, and if it's close, you're going to want to get in there and really manage your specials as tightly as you can. And so communication is so key.
You talk about that. Communication not only is important in relationships and life, but also when it comes to team play in Splatoon here, 9. And tell us a little bit more about these special communication devices these teams are using.
Well, they are special communication devices tailored specifically for this event. You saw it in the early video. There are some sick decals on the side of it. And like you said, there's only 4 people out here. They all need to be informed. If 2 of you go down, that's half your team. You're not going to get anything done.
All right, well, looks like our players are in the lobby right now getting set. And Ashley, just a reminder, they only get the main abilities with their clothing and decor. You don't get those sub-abilities, so that's going to change some of the things these teams do as they get set for Splat Zones.
That's right. You're not going to see a 12 stack of swim speed today. So they're going to have to be a little more discerning, a little more judicious on what kind of loadouts they have. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the weapon loadout is. But, Nine, what do you think everybody should be choosing in the way of? I mean, yes, we saw a lot of rapid blasters. I mean, I think that's the order of the day. But what else besides that do you think we're going to see?
Well, a healthy dosage of rapid blasters, a healthy dosage of inkjet. If you can use either one of those things, one weapon actually is both of those things, the rapid blaster deco, so best of both worlds. But I think these teams, especially on this first map, Splat Zone's Walleye Warehouse, are going to use some ink armor. We didn't see it as much, but I know the NZAP, a very popular pick here because it's so easy to get locked out.
Well, you mentioned the stage that will be on Walleye Warehouse. And Ashley, what do you notice about this one when it comes to Splat Zones?
I mean, I love Walleye Warehouse because there's so many ways to get into the center of the map, and a couple of them are ink-proof, right? So you have some grates that you can walk on. You don't have to worry about getting locked out of that lane. So I think that's going to be the most exciting part.
Well, let's go with the signature. Let's get it cracking. Game one of these grand finals. The GG boys from Japan in the orange taking on the back squids from Europe in the purple. And let's look at this loadout here. Nine, any surprises?
Well, we do see that NZAP 85, a weapon that's kind of fallen out of favor recently, but like we mentioned earlier, very popular there for the ink armor, although already Yamamichi going down. This is a great opening for the back squids.
Kaito getting the splat right there. 430 in this one. Early advantage right now for the back squids. 83 to 100 as that score continues to drop for the back squids of Europe. They've got a 4-3 advantage on the map, and Ashley, they wasted no time at claiming that splat zone.
No time at all, and Watson is doing exactly what I said they needed to do, which is neutralizing Yamamichi before he can even get close to anyone else on the team.
Echo with the Stingray, another Stingray being deployed by Dynamon. Is Stingray on Stingray. And we have the GG boys seizing control of the zone, putting that 38-second penalty on the back squids. Nine.
Yeah, and it was great that Dynamon was able to not go down in that situation. A trade is not what they wanted because they did not have as much pressure in the middle. It allowed them to continue to put pressure down with that Stingray, although it does look like it switched all the way back.
Back squids reclaiming control of the zone. 51-87 as they cut into that penalty. Kaito with another splat on Yamamichi. 4-3 on the field, 4-2, and you start to see the forces for the back squids here actually push forward and try to keep the GG boys at bay.
Yeah, I really like seeing what Echo's doing here with the splat lane. He is literally keeping everyone out of this lane that Dynamon is trying to put some ink down on so that they can get around and try to flank.
Back squids looking to make a statement in game one against the GG boys, but here come the boys. They're back in town and they've got control of the zone at this point. And Nine, you look at Yamamichi on that inkjet, pairing it with the ink storm. Beautiful use of both specials.
Absolutely, and you know, Yamamichi at the beginning of this match kind of got caught out by himself, maybe a little bit too aggressive. I like that he didn't go in too deep with that. He's applying pressure here, but he's not too far from the rest of his team.
Yamamichi dodging and rolling, trying to super jump back. Here comes an inkjet and a baller being deployed for the back squids. Zone is at neutral at this point. Reclaimed by the GG boys. They're now just 18 seconds away from tying this game up. We've got a 3-1 advantage on the field for the GG boys as another back squid goes down, and it looks like Yamamichi has found his rhythm, and now it's the GG boys putting pressure on the back squids, Ashley, as Japan takes the lead.
Yeah, I mean, this is what they do best. They are so good at making sure that if there is any tiny bit of taking a step too close to their base, they can take advantage of that and really convert.
And that'll do it. The GG boys turning the tide of momentum against the back squids, locking things down and getting the victory in Splat Zones and 9. We really seem to see the GG boys settle down and really play some excellent play, and they stayed alive and put the pressure on the back squids.
And at the beginning, they were getting separated. They were starting to get a little bit staggered. We saw almost immediately Yamamichi went down, but once they got locked out that second time, they grouped back up. They used Dynamon's Stingray to push back in. Even if you don't splat somebody with it, sometimes the damage is enough so that someone else can come in and get that assist. And at that point, it was all about the lockout.
But also the back squids coming out aggressively, Ashley. They were able to secure the zone, hold it for the majority of the match early on, but then you saw the GG boys take control of it. And Splat Zones is a hard mode to come from behind on, but we saw the GG boys able to accomplish that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is at the very beginning, I think you were right. I think Yamamichi maybe got out there by himself and was maybe a little bit exposed and was able to get splatted a couple of times by the back squids. But then once they all kind of found their rhythm, got together, communicated with each other, again, like I think we started seeing a very team-oriented rush at certain points where Dynamon was giving them lots of cover with that Stingray, and I think that led them to victory.
GG boys take the first game in this championship final, best of 7. Up next, we have tower control. So let's take a look at the basic layout of that for those of us that haven't had a chance to play this glorious game mode. Ride the tower into the enemy's base. Yes, it's a tower in tower control. Surprise, surprise. The tower moves automatically on a set path once a player is on it. And if the battle ends without the tower reaching the goal, the team with the lowest goal distance wins. But we talked about this yesterday, 9. Those checkpoints are going to be different in every single stage, and being able to manage and get past those checkpoints oftentimes makes the difference.
And if you do have a Stingray, you're going to use it. If you're not tired of Stingray, you will be by the end of this mode. Stingray is so powerful for clearing off that tower, especially if it gets stuck at that checkpoint. You know exactly where everybody's going to be. Just clean it up, let your frontliners go in. It's a nice back and forth.
And what we saw yesterday with the GG boys, Ashley, we saw Dynamon using that heavy splatling on the tower, and instead of using the charger, you look at the ability of the heavy splatling. What advantages does it have?
I think for Dynamon, I mean, he's a roller guy, right? So I think we see a lot of the heavy splatling as opposed to a charger, just because, one, you can put down so much ink on the ground and give lanes to your teammates, where with a charger, you're maybe putting down a little bit less ink, you have to be a little more precise, and also you leave yourself open to people coming around and flanking you from behind.
9, let's chat about some sub-weapons here. What do you think plays well in tower control?
Well, if you've got a bomb, now's the time to use it. Pretty much all of them great, but if you have some Toxic Mist, you know, it's not a bad idea. The people who are on the tower, they're going to be trying to fire back at you. You throw that Toxic Mist on there, suddenly they don't have those resources, makes it a little easier to stop that push.
We'll be doing tower control on Wahoo World. The players changing their abilities, changing their weapons at this point, but you look at Wahoo World, a level that just dropped recently like it's hot, and your thoughts on what we're going to see from the stage here, Ashley?
I am really looking forward to how these teams handle tower control, because this map is so new. It's the newest map, and they've had the least amount of time to work on it and to really figure out what their strategy is. So we might see some improvisation here as we kind of get closer to the end checkpoints.
Let's get set for game number 2 in this grand final of the Splatoon 2 World Championship. A wonderful crowd here at the Belasco Theater on hand to see who will be crowned the champions of the world. You're going to have the GG boys of Japan in the blue, the back squids of Europe in the green. Let's take an initial look at the loadouts and please guide us through this, Professor 9.
Well, this was the money comp for them last time. We saw that incredible Game 5 tower control match. It was Echo on the Charger and Majin on this Rapid Blaster Pro. Echo, like you said, Ashley, a big responsibility, needs to get some picks early on to help start this push.
Dynamon not wasting any time getting control of that Stingray. A splat for splat, but already a 3-1 advantage on the field for the GG boys, but the tower gets stuck right there. Taiji trying to make some ground, ink some turf right now. Going to use that ink jet, trying to put some pressure on the spawn of the back squids, but now it's 4-4 on the field. Tower reclaimed by the GG boys as Dynamon trying to lock things down like a padlock, Ashley.
Yeah, I think that was really smart by Taiji to get forward, try to keep people away from getting toward the tower so that they could put some numbers up on the map.
And 9, we see Kaito at work at this point. What have we seen from the back squids in their strategy early on?
Well, actually, things were looking kind of bad for them. Yamamichi was taking the attention of 2 people, but Kaito was actually able to almost single-handedly push in and get the splats necessary to stop that. We do see the Stingray here. This push might be a little bit delayed, but their defense has been strong so far.
You saw Kaito with the ink jet and a couple of GG boys swimming out of harm's way, and now Watson once again with that slosher. We know a few teams yesterday were seeing buckets in their nightmares thanks to Watson and what he was able to do. And now the back squids have control of the tower. They start to improve their scores. Watson continues to provide some support. Yamamichi, though, gets the splat on Watson, trying to put some pressure on the tower. And that's how you play some defense right there, 9.
How many times are we going to say this guy's name? Yamamichi found a way behind all of that pressure, took out the defender of the tower, and it gave his team the chance to come back in and clean it up. What a play.
Etana using the Ink Storm, Ink Jet by Yamamichi being deployed as well, too. So you've got a couple of specials in use right now for the GG boys, and a couple more in the tank. Keep an eye out for the Stingray. Oh, Yamamichi. putting on a clinic for right now until Watson's able to stop things. Ken Watson, that baller against the Inkjet, taking on two GG boys. Oh, look at the splat as Taiji goes down, but enough of an effort there by the back squids, Ashley, to try and slow the progress of GG boys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, gosh, Watson is just such a menace. I've never been more terrified of somebody carrying a bucket in my whole life, and honestly, it's working for him because Echo is on the tower and they are riding it in.
68-75, tightly contested match here. No team has cleared the first checkpoint. Oh, Echo! Unbelievable one shot right there, 9, as the Stingray able to pay back some retribution for the GG boys.
Dynamon is one of the biggest buzz kills I've ever seen. They had all the momentum going there, but he did not go down. They do lose the lead, but they're in a much better spot to defend this, though the super jumps are back. This is getting dangerous.
The back squids putting some pressure on the GG boys, but the GG boys climb back up on top of the tower. 4-2 on the map, 2 minutes left. 14-point advantage for the back squids of Europe. Can they swim their way into a victory in game 2? Taiji with a couple of forces right now. 4-3 on the field. They're looking for a big numbers advantage. Inkjet ready to go. Oh, but gets splatted just in time as the back squids continue to provide some defense. We're at 1:45 here, 9. You've got Dynamon on the tower. What do the GG boys need here to get this push to the checkpoint?
Well, they need this to be a big Stingray, and Dynamon once again winning the battle of the Stingrays here. He's not going to be able to get on the tower at the time, so they are going to lose it, but he's going to be able to get some super jumps here. You see both Taiji and Etana jumping in. They're going to need to play very clean right now.
Dynamon picking off members of the back squids like he's picking berries right now. 1-0 advantage for our best of 7. The GG boys trying to tie things up here in tower control. You see the baller being deployed by Watson. Can we see that famed defense of the back squids? But no critical splat by the GG boys. 1 minute left. Inkstorm being deployed, and you have an Inkjet ready. But Ashley, back squids getting on the tower. Here's where they have to make this defensive stance.
They have to make a defensive stance, but Taiji is making it very, very hard for them right now. He's splatted 2 people. He's on his way back to the tower, dropping bombs immediately, protect himself. You got people from other GG boys jumping into the tower. It is getting crazy out there.
68-54, GG boys on the tower. At 9, you look at the clock, and right now it's not on the side of the GG boys. This has to be most likely their final push of the match.
It's going to be. He's got to be able to find this Stingray right here. Dynamo not going to get the better of it here. Taiji was there with the assist, but that allowed Watson to sneak back in. Can Yamamichi stay alive long enough here? Watson finally goes down, but because of the geography of this level, it's going to be difficult as a flank comes in.
4-3, GG boys and Yamamichi's got the Inkjet ready. They've got to get past the first checkpoint. 10 seconds left. Can they force overtime? 2 more GG boys remain. Oh, but Kaito picks him out of the sky and pops the Inkjet like a balloon. But we're in overtime. GG boys lose the tower, and the back squids come from behind. About 2 minutes left in that match. They turn the tide. And 9, how about the defense? That's what got them into these grand finals yesterday. They show that tower control defense. You see the passion, the communication, the back squids getting it done.
And you can't say enough about Kaito's performance in that game. I know we saw some highlight stuff there at the end, but so often you saw him engaged in those one-on-one duels with Taiji and Yamamichi, 2 of the best frontliners doing it right now. More often than not, he came out on top in those situations, and we will not be bringing out the broom today.
And Ashley, we saw a lot of Stingray versus Stingray, and it seemed like a critical point at the end where you had both of those, and the back squids were able to get that splat on Dynamon. That really seemed to secure the victory for them.
It really did. I mean, I would say that was the clutch moment where if Dynamon had survived through that entire Stingray and had taken out Echo, instead of it being a trade, I think this could have been a very different end.
Just an exhilarating match. Let's go ahead and look back at some of the replays here. And 9, walk us through what we're seeing here, because we saw the momentum swing side to side throughout this match, but here's Watson.
Watson, and when you use a weapon like this on the slosher, you see that you've got some raised area here. It's going to allow you to kind of take advantage of it. But as we see there, Yamamichi using that stealth jump to come in, put pressure on the tower, and you see they kind of just close in on it. Everyone is aware of where that objective is. And, you know, because of the layout of this level, if you get stuck down there and it moves up, you have to jump back up to the top to get on it. And I'm glad that you mentioned that final splat being so important. They didn't have time to get up there before the respawns happened.
So now it's 1-1. We're guaranteed at least a game 5. So that's a treat for everybody here. Both these teams, as you see how evenly matched they are, Ashley, and the passion and also the organization we're seeing from both of these teams, these pushes. What can you say about the back squids and what we've seen the last couple of days from them?
I mean, gosh, I am so impressed with the level of play that they have brought to this tournament. The shot calling has been very good. The communication has been so good. And honestly, seeing them watch each other's backs, it's so different than when you play Splatoon 2 and you're just by yourself and you're playing Turf War. You know, to be able to play on a team of 4 people who are all communicating with each other, I mean, the level of absolute, like, just pro play is so wonderful to see.
Well, let's get set for our third game. It will be Clam Blitz, and here's the explanation behind that. You toss clams into the enemy basket. First team to score 100 points wins. Find clams scattered around the stage. Round up 10 clams to receive a power clam, which resembles a football, which it's not a court 9, but it's on a what? Field is the magic word we're looking for. You'll still get the sporty sports, my buddy. I tried to set you up.
I'm not going to entertain you. I am not going to do it today, sir.
A power clam is needed to break the basket's barrier. 1 clam equals 3 points. A power clam equals 20 points on the field of play out there. And this is one of those game modes, 9, where it can be a little chaotic. You talk about clam management and the currency that's on the field at this point.
We call it the clam economy because it's so important to have your clams. We saw yesterday in the Set to Destroy X versus Back Squids game, Set to Destroy X had moments where they were pushing up, but they just didn't have the clams to follow it up. Because of that, teams will sometimes wait until they have enough of those power clams to really make a dent, because there is a penalty associated if you aren't able to score enough points.
And you don't want to give a pity clam to the opposing team, especially when they're already in the lead.
They're getting set with their gear and their weapons. It will be Clam Blitz on Manta, Maria, and Ashley. You look at Manta, Maria, in the middle of this stage is really where things happen, being able to control that area. But what else do we recognize about this level?
I mean, I think this is a really long, thin level, right? And so and it's also a little bit of a smaller stage. And so with Clam Blitz, I think there's a lot of verticality of that crow's nest. I think we're going to see a lot of, we're going to see some long range action here. I'm hoping Dynamon's on that splatling again, and I think Echo is almost definitely going to be on a charger.
Players in the lobby, they're getting set still, and we talk about having the power clam here, 9, and obviously it gives up your position, but these teams are so good at communicating. Let us know a little bit more about how these teams break down these stages and communicate where people are and some of the terms they use.
Well, the easiest terms that you'll see are left and right. Sometimes simple is best. The real key is making sure they're quick call-outs because you have to know where the opponent is at now.
Let's get set for Clam Blitz on Manta Maria. You've got the GG boys of Japan in the purple taking on the Back Squids of Europe in the green. And let's break down these loadouts here and some of these main abilities. We saw a lot of stealth jump there, 9.
Anytime you have a long map like this, you know you're going to see a lot of super jumps coming back in. It's just an inevitability. If you're going to do that, very common to see some stealth jump to just make it a little bit easier.
Kaito getting the splat on Yamamichi early in this one. 4-3 advantage for the Back Squids. Neither team with a power clam. At this point, you're looking to get 10 clams to get that power clam. You, of course, can share clams with your teammates if you pass them off. And when you get splatted, Ashley, you're giving up clams as well.
Yeah, you're giving up the clams to potentially to other team, but if you can keep them away from it at least until they disappear, you're probably in a much better place.
Watson with that slosher trying to cover some ink. And 9, we talk about this. You focus on the objective of the game, but you want to make sure you cover the turf and give your team plenty of space to move around.
Right, the fundamentals of the game never go away. You make sure that you control that turf, you give yourself the lanes, and it's an added benefit here in Clam Blitz. You can see the clams that are under your turf, so it's one more reason why you need to control the map.
Dynamon with a power clam. You see the GG boys trying to be the first ones to get on the board, waiting to find an opening. Looks like he has a chance here if he can toss the power clam. And he has a completion with the barrier, and now it's the early advantage for the GG boys. However, the Back Squids are able to stop everything and do a complete wipe of the GG boys here, Ashley.
That's one of the things that is so dangerous about doing those really big pushes with 3 team members or more, is that you're really risking an entire team wipe, and that's exactly what just happened.
And 9, you see Majin dropping the power clam, another teammate picking it up, and when you talk about having 3 power clams on the board, that changes the priority for the GG boys.
Zach, where do you put your defenses here? There's too much pressure coming in. They're going to set up this jump. The baller has gone in on Watson. Here they come.
Here they come.
1, 2, 3.
Execution is flawless from the Back Squids. You saw the baller roll in there, explode, and 3 super jumps by the goal. You can't write it any better than that, 9.
That is exactly what you want to see. Textbook play, but you're seeing now Dynamon going to try to do the exact same thing. You see 21 clams there at the top of the screen, so to have the resources they need. They're going to need their own Slosher Deco to build up a baller, though, before they can get too deep.
Dynamon with the power clamp, trying to chase down a few members of the back squids. Back squids shifting to more of a defensive focus right now. They see the threat coming. Oh, Dynamon with 2 direct shots. That rapid blaster at close range can still get the job done. Dynamon trying to avoid the splat, but gets hit by the back squids, and now it's 2:15 left. 3-2 advantage on the field. And once again, actually, that defense from the back squids showing its head.
All you have to do at this point, if you're the back squids, is play really great defense. And unfortunately, Itona has a ball ready to go. So if GG Boys can get a couple of power clamps going, I think this could be real dangerous for the back squids.
Under 2 minutes left, Etuna getting the power clamp. However, you've got another one for the back squids at this point. And 9, both of these teams have a stiff penalty, so it's going to be a coordinated effort if you're looking to improve your score.
It is, and I love the way that back squids have been playing this defense. They know that they can't let the baller get close. This might be an awkward angle for them to hit in. They do score, but I don't know if they were able to get any other jumps. You see Taiji coming in is actually able to go through and gets a crucial double kill.
Huge.
We'll see if this is going to be enough. The next baller comes in.
Taiji, and you saw the other power clam, and now the GG Boys are building up their lead. 29-40, but a 30-point penalty. Look at the timer at the top of your screen as well, too. That still has plenty of life to it. You can keep tossing clams as long as there's some purple there. GG Boys looking for one more clam. Can it get there in time? Oh! The door is closed on Taiji, but they have built themselves a 17-point lead. 1 minute left. If you're the back squids here, Ashley, you got to shift from defense to offense at this point.
They're going to have to get very aggressive, but they're also going to have to be really careful because, again, you're going to have to make that run successful. Otherwise, it could end in a team wipe.
Echo with a power clam at this point. 42 seconds left. You see the bubble blower special ready to go. A power clam on the field for the GG Boys. And 9, you've talked about it. It's clam management at this point. Are there enough on the field for the back squids to make a comeback?
Well, anytime you see 15 or more, or 20 or more at this case, that means that there's not a lot of clams for you to work with. They're going to need that power clam and a lot more points. Watson's going to be forced to use this baller pretty far out. They're going to have to make this push the old-fashioned way, and it looks like they might.
Oh, the GG Boys able to shut the door on the push of the back squids. And here comes Yamamichi. They're going to go ahead and just get the KO. They send the back squids to the canvas on Clam Blitz, and they're now up 2-1 in these grand finals. And that's what we saw. We knew that the back squids had to become more offensively minded here, 9. And because of that, the GG Boys were able to play some defense and then close the door on this match.
And that was just dirty. They snuck behind there. You saw at the top of the screen, one of the members of the back squids had super jump there. They thought they had it, but that allowed the GG Boys to sneak behind them, score, and there was no one there to play defense.
And Ashley, we saw at the end of this game, the job that the GG Boys did of gathering the other clams to make sure there wasn't enough money in the bank for the back squids to make a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, that is part of the game. It's a strategy to play a little bit of keep away with the remaining clams on the field. And so they did an excellent job of getting in the lead and then saying, you know what, all we have to do at this point is just keep the clams away from you so you can't get any more points.
One of the highlights of this matchup, 9, was this 3-player super jump into the baller.
Oh.
You called it as it was happening.
Beautiful.
Show us what we're seeing right here as 3 power clams on the side of the back squids.
Well, you can't draw it up any better than this. You see Watson was able to sneak all the way back through. He even jumped down there to the bottom in order to make sure that his team had just a little bit more. Taiji got there, but got there just a little bit too late. And Taiji, once again, this time, sometimes the great players make great plays. You see a full wipe there when Taiji was in a bad situation that allowed his team to jump in and was really the MVP of that game.
And it seemed like that was most likely the most critical point. Sure, you'll see highlights of that triple super jump, but Taiji's ability to lock down the base, get that wipe, really secured the victory for our GG Boys.
Yeah, I mean, Taiji and Yamamichi are just incredible frontliners. They're so good at winning those one-on-ones, and that ends up in conversions, and you are going to be in a really good position if you can win those one-on-ones.
2-1 advantage in our grand finals, courtesy of the GG Boys. We get set for game 4. It's going to be Rainmaker, so here's a rundown for those of you at home so you can follow. You're going to carry a mystical missile launcher, 9. Love that term right there. Called the Rainmaker to a pedestal in the enemy base. The Rainmaker is initially located in the center of the stage and is protected by a barrier. If the battle ends without a KO, the team with the lowest goal distance will win. And take us through some high-level strategy with Rainmaker. Where does the coordination begin with this mode?
Well, you want to make sure that you have an alleyway secured before you make that push. There's, of course, moments where a scramble occurs, you take 2 or 3 down, and you just run it all you can. But these teams are so good at identifying where the Rainmaker is going to go and being preemptive. Don't be surprised if it takes a 2, 3, maybe even 4 down situation before they're willing to pick up that Rainmaker.
And a lot of the back line, it seems like, because you do want to plow your way forward, but you have to let your teammates clear the way and clear the threats for you as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of trust involved in Rainmaker, I think. So you have to really trust that your other 3 teammates are going to be taking good care of you and giving you some time, one, to load up the Rainmaker and actually fire it, because there's a little bit of a delay there. And on top of that, create those lanes for you to get you closer to the goal.
And you look at Camp Triggerfish, which is the stage that we'll be doing Rainmaker on, and what do you notice about this stage as it pertains to Rainmaker and how you navigate this map here, Ashley?
Well, we have that giant gap in the middle of the map, and I think that ends up being a little bit of a, there's a little bit of a back and forth across the way, as you would as summer camp, of course. And I think it's going to be a really fun thing to watch some of the longer range weapons get across that divide and really start picking off people.
And Nine, as far as loadouts go with particular weapons, you know, we've seen a wide variety already in the first 3 game modes, but Rainmaker, what do teams tend to typically focus on?
Well, Stingray, especially on a map like this, going to be very popular. It's a long, narrow pathway that teams tend to run, but don't be surprised if we see something with a wall, because teams tend to go on that netting on the left side of the map. We might see that brand new fresh Glugadooley that we saw. Got the baller and just as I say it,
the man does not even need a crystal ball to call that out. You see the Glugadoolies. GG boys from Japan, the GG boys from Japan in the yellow, and you've got the back squids in blue for Team Europe. 2-1 as we get set for game 4, and Etna already with the Rainmaker trying to advance and improve on the score. The GG boys trying to make this a quick one. You see the suction bomb in the way of Etna, just being very patient as his teammates can clear things out. And Nine, this is one of those game modes, if you blink, it could be over.
I was about to say that exact thing here. It's not going to be enough. They are going to be able to slow it down there, but you can see there's still 3 members there. This one's going to go even further, and Yamamichi is all up in them right now.
Yamamichi trying to clear out the threats, but the back squids do a great job of fortifying their base. You've got a 4-1 on the field advantage for the back squids, and they're going to go take that Rainmaker and just clear it on out of here. You clearly don't want that right by your base. They're going to just guard it, let it reset. 4-3 on the map, and here we see Echo with that charger once again. Ashley, and picking people off once again.
Absolutely beautiful. Echo is so good on that charger, and I was surprised he wasn't on it last game, and I am just more than happy to see him on it this one.
3:50 left in this one. 3-3 on the field, make that 3-2 now, courtesy of the GG boys. They have the advantage and the lead, 30-0 at this point on Camp Triggerfish. And what we've seen already, Nine, is every single stage has a particular route you can go with the Rainmaker, and the GG boys wasting no time building this lead.
They're being kind of greedy here. You see they're putting pressure on both sides at the same time. There is that nice little ink rail that kind of allows you access to both sides, which is not something that was there in the Splatoon 1 iteration of this game. Already they're going for more. You see Etna does get taken out pretty quick. This is a good Stingray. It's going to do just enough to take them out there as a 2-down situation. Again, it's solid defense, but we got to see some offense.
Echo getting the splat on Dynamon and stopping the movement of the Rainmaker at that point. Kaito using that splatter shot, trying to create some more ground for his team to operate. Great defense so far from the back squids, but we haven't seen a shred of offense from them. Inkjet ready to go for Kaito. You've got Wadston on the ground with that slosher. 3-3 on the field, 3-2 advantage, and this is maybe where the back squids can make an offensive push, but they have to deal with Dynamon and that Inkjet, Ashley.
Yeah, that is very dangerous. It looks like Watson just got splatted, so it just gave Dynamon a whole lot of real estate to work with Itona right here. Got people jumping in already. Here's Yamamichi. Now, again, you've got 3 of the GG boys right there on top of the Rainmaker.
2:25 left in this one. 2-1 advantage in the games. If the GG boys can get this, they'll have a huge 3-1 advantage getting set for game 5. However, a couple more splats. Yamamichi getting splatted by Etna. Etna with those dual squelchers putting in some work right now. 2:10 left in this one. 4-4, plenty of time here. However, if you're the GG boys, You know that you've got the lead. Do you shift to a defensive mindset here, 9?
I don't think you change up the game plan whatsoever. As long as you play within yourself and you don't go too crazy here, I think you can play offense. That's not a spot you want to be. I'm a little bit surprised to see him moving towards the Rainmaker here. There might be a chance for a push on this left side.
Majin trying to keep a couple of the GG boys at bay with that Rapid Blaster. Here comes Echo with the Rainmaker. Baller on baller crime. Those both negate each other, but you see the splat on the left-hand side of your screen. Echo needs a convoy. Looking for some help to help improve that score. You've got those cargo nets. It's going to be very difficult to navigate. Trying to avoid the splat option. Oh, Echo getting behind the defenses, but it's not enough. And you see the score there, 9. It was 30-30, but because the GG boys got there first, Backsquid's back at 31.
Can they get anyone up there? Kaito's got to run up there and grab that. The Inkjet's not going to be able to do so. The splash wall might have saved him. Kaito is able to get one, but they're going to need someone else to come back there and pop it. Kaito can't do it himself. He has to focus on the threat that's ahead. The Stingray up to help them. Can anybody grab it?
Kaito gets a couple splats. Here comes Majin, and the Backsquids take the lead. Here comes the slam dunk, and the Backsquids able to do enough and put some pressure on the GG boys, and they lock this thing up here, Ashley.
Wow.
2 games to 2.
I mean, I really thought that Rainmaker was gonna go away. It could have had to have been the last second for that Rainmaker to still be on the map, and Majin just picked it up and jumped over the top of someone and walked it in. It was crazy.
9, how about that concentrated push at the end? It just seemed like it was an endless stream of Backsquids deploying right in that area of the map against the GG boys, and the GG boys unable to reset that Rainmaker. Let's take a look at the replay from all of the action that we just watched. And 9, you look at how much these teams were battling back and forth, but here comes Echo at the pivotal moment of this match.
So many things going on right here. You see Majin had already worked around that backside and was able to get Echo this far into it. He jumps up here, throwing caution to the wind, but the splash wall just enough to slow it down. But credit to the Backsquids there. They gave themselves the position to super jump in. You could not have timed that dual special push there any better. Yamamichi trying his best, but with coordination like that, there's nothing a single player can do.
The 4-0 wipe like Charmin at the end right there. Excellent job. And you see the Stingray getting the critical splat, able to stop things right there. And Ashley, we now have ourselves at least a game 6.
I mean, this is what we all want as Splatoon fans. This is the thing you want to see. We wanted to see a real championship match, and that is exactly what we're looking at.
We get set for a game 5 in our best of 7, and both of these squads back and forth, and that's a huge match right there, 9, because if you aren't able to get that victory, you're now down 3-1. You would have to beat the GG boys 3 times in a row to become victorious. You now give yourself some breathing room.
And you look at how that third game went. It was the Backsquids who got off to that big lead there with that incredible 3 power acclaim score at one time, and then it was the GG boys saying, we're just going to take the wind right out of those sails. That time the roles were completely reversed. It was the GG boys who came out on top at the start, but credit to the Backsquids, they just kept fighting the whole way.
And Ashley, the GG boys got out to the huge lead, the early advantage. It looked like they were almost about to win the game the first 30 seconds, but you saw the defense from the Backsquids. They never give up. They always believe, and that's so important when you get to these grand finals.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I'm always impressed with all 4 teams that have played in this tournament is the ability to remain calm. I know that whenever I am in a situation similar to that while I play Splatoon, I am a panicker. And I'm like, oh, I got to pick up the Rainmaker because it's just sitting right there in front of me. And these teams show incredible restraint when they know, like, no, I'm not the Rainmaker carrier. I'm going to wait for my teammates. I'm going to have a coordinated push. Like, we're going to do this together. And they've done, all of them have done such a good job at that.
Game 5 will be splat zones in the Reef. And Ashley, it was one of the first stages many people got their hands on when they first played Splatoon 2. Tell us about this stage, especially as it pertains to splat zones.
I mean, I love the Reef, and I think that this is the map that the teams have had the most time with, I would say, out of all of them. And so the Reef is the one that, you know, I feel like it brings us right back to classic Splatoon, the fight on the bridge. It's time for a fight on the bridge.
Splat zones in the Reef. A couple of scoops of vanilla ice cream when it comes to game modes here. Just under 5 minutes, you have the back squids in the blue. And then in the green, you've got the GG boys. And tell us about the loadouts we're seeing here, Nine.
Well, this is not a map where you're going to bring out your long-range weapons, and we already see Echo making his presence felt on that blaster, but it's going to be a 4-0 wipe now from, again, both of these short-range compositions, but now the lockout starts. If you remember, the first Flat Zones game that we saw started exactly like this. Can the back squids turn the tides?
Watson with that baller ready to go, trying to avoid both a sprinkler and a couple of curling bombs and an inkjet. It's raining down ink all over Watson. He goes ahead and deploys the baller to help protect him, but here comes Etna trying to turn the tide, trying to get the zone. Oh, critical splat from behind, and already the back squids out to a 50 to 100 lead here, Ashley.
I mean, this has been very good play. They took out Dynamon on that roller very early on in the match, and I think that was so key to help them take over the splat zone, but it looks like GG Boys took it right back.
GG Boys, they grab the zone. It's now 80 to 50, and that clock continues to tick, and we talk about that lockout phase. This is very similar to the last matchup on Walleye Warehouse we saw here, Nine. The GG Boys able to reclaim the turf and then put the pressure on the spawn for the back squids.
And the positioning of Dynamon here is going to be so important. He knows he's got the longest effective range of all the weapons currently on the map. That's why you see him sitting there at the front of the bridge. He knows they're going to come from that way, and because he's been positioned so well and assisting his team, it's starting to look ugly.
GG Boys take the lead. It's 30 to 50. That clock continues to tick. Very difficult situation for the back squids. They've got 4 squids out there, make that 3, but only 1 special ready to go. Can Watson put some pressure? Kaito gets the splat on the backliner of Dynamon. Trying to get another splat. Critical double splat, and I think those splat bombs might take out the spawn. And yes, you've got a 2-0 wipe for the back squids as they now reclaim the splat zone here, Ashley.
That was a huge, 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 huge clutch play right there by Majin. I mean, being able to stay alive through all of that is massive, and that is why they are in charge of that splat zone right now, and they're going to go ahead and clear out that penalty.
Dynamon going to deploy the ink armor. You see the lead at the top of your screen, 13 to 39. GG Boys trying to make it a 3-2 advantage. That clock continues to tick, but it's 3-1 on the field. A couple of specials ready to go for the GG Boys, Nine.
And that was one of the most crucial 1v1s, and unlike earlier in the set, this time it was Taiji beating Kaito on that. You saw them both stopping and just shooting at the opponent, but Taiji won that. They were really close to getting the lead.
13 to 26. You see the GG Boys are having to overcome and erase that penalty they currently have, but they have a 13-point lead, 2:18 left. Taiji in the inkjet. Oh, he gets Kaito, but he's hungry. He wants some more. He's going after a few more back squids. Unable to eat right there. Here comes the baller. Watson trying to get into that zone. Enough to get a few sprinkles of ink in the splat zone, but it's not enough. GG Boys about 20 seconds away from victory, and Watson goes down.